Good evening, one and all. I am Dr. Nilesh Dumore, faculty FDP coordinator and head of chemical department of chemical department SN Patel Institute of Engineering Technology, Umbrag Bardoli. I would like to welcome to our esteemed expert speaker, Mr. Niraj Mithani sir, today with our faculty development program sessions. We are truly honored with us as such distinguished professional with us. So, Mr. Mithani sir is founder and managing director as Illusius Sustainable Bioenergy Private Limited and director of BA Prerna Clean Earth Private Limited. Uh, Mr. Mithani sir is a innovative entrepreneur and a visionary leader in the field of sustainable energy solutions. With the passion for the combating the air and water pollutions, he established area Sustainable Bioenergy Private Limited, Surat-based company, specialization in advanced water and wastewater treatment technologies, purification solutions, green energy innovations. In addition to his leadership at LOS, Niraj sir is also director at a BA Prerna Clean Private Limited, whereas he played the pivotal role in transforming the municipal and industrial waste into the valuable resources. His expertise as the instrumental in driving the sustainable waste management project, including the recycles of the refuse derived fuels we called RDF to generate the clean energy and utilization of the organic compost and inert material for the land restoring afforestation initiative. With over 2 decades of experience, Neeraj sir has forefronts of the development of the implementation of cutting-edge technologies, including the electrochemical systems, advanced oxidation process, botanical extract base reagent. His contributions have the significantly advanced in adoption of sustainable practices towards industries, municipalities, and public sectors. So these all about our distinguished speakers, Mr. Niraj Mithani sir. So now we will enjoy the healthy session with the Niraj Mithani sir. So I request to Mithani sir, please continue his sessions. So please, sir.
Thank you, and very good evening to one and all. So, thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my ideas, share my views. Just before we start, can you all see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So, very short, brief introduction of my company and my some portion of my work today we'll be sharing. So it's in English you can call it be a prerna, be an inspiration, and otherwise our local language you can call it ba prerna. It's mother's inspiration. So that is the proof of company. And I'm also adding Hello Sustainable Bioenergy, wherein we are undertaking all this research and development for clean products. Paprana, in fact, is a renewable company, and we mainly deal with utility scale wind and solar projects as of now, and we are aspiring to be undertaking and green hydrogen and green ammonia projects in future. But one of the largest single location solar and wind project is coming up here in Gujarat with us at Dwarka. That is the major group. The other major is Baprena Clean Earth, wherein we have established technologies and developed reagents which can help in disposal of complete and scientific disposal of landfills. And our focus area is RDF. RDF is refuse derived fuel, means the combustible section of the waste which is collected from the dump site. So that can be definitely used as a fuel in industries on a controlled combustion. And we have developed some reagents which will take care of even when such waste material is disposed or burnt. So that is the specialty. So it was a reversing our toxic-free a liquid which we developed, and then we have forwarded it to a business opportunity treating the solid components. ALS, that was my dream project, and I've been working with that for 2006, 2009. And we have been instrumental in solving some very complex problems. Some of that problems will move through today in our presentations. So our contribution or participation in chemistry based trace to treasure. Waste is not waste; it's a treasure, unless we identify it rightly. So we have been working with a lot many things using all these waste products, and we have been generating energy mainly, fixing energy, and then also generating wealth out of it. So waste to energy, toxic-free, as I said, is our key product, which controls emission even when plastic is burning, and there are no dioxin furans generated. So that is our key product, and it has been tested by several agencies, including SGS. We produce biofertilizers out of waste, the organic compost which has been left over at the dumping sites. And we have made an urea equivalent product with our that is again a new reagent which our team has developed, and it is replacing urea, and that too also in a very small quantum. We can, means 1 kilo of our enriched nano can replace around say 250 kilo of urea. So we are using this waste also for afforestation solutions, and we are trying to bring back the green cover to the earth, and land complete deserts can be converted to green belts using our techniques and products. So advanced effluent treatment, that was always my first love, and electrochemistry is always inspiring me to do more and more, and that is how we have been dealing with most hazardous effluents on the earth. We'll just give introduction to one product in later slides. So AOP we are using for air and water purification, and all of our wastewater treatments and air treatments are all based on green products, either natural reagents or something like AOPs. So this is what we are doing. Recently, we have started a discussion with government of Gujarat to reuse their entire sewage, which is generated across Gujarat, so that it can be recycled in industries, and that too at a very nominal cost and very negligible changes in the existing infrastructure. So that is all what we are proposing to the different governments in India as well as in Africa also now. So we can rejuvenate a lake, a river, or even a dam, and that too also with very, very scientific methodologies, considering Wetland Act and all that. So chemical-free disinfection, IP methods, and next-gen chemical manufacturing using all AOPs. So this is what we have been doing with green chemistry. But let me warn you all that my session is not going to be so academic, and I'll not be discussing so many formulas, and I'll not be sharing so many research graphs. I'll be very, very simple, very layman language, and I'll also try to show the crux. What exactly, so beyond academics, we should also focus on applicability of the products. And that is my major focus area. So we'll be mainly focusing on the applicability. And if at all somebody has any question, and if they want to connect me directly, they can always connect me. And we'll be very happy to share our experience and what all knowledge we have gathered till date in our journey. So you all know advanced oxidation processes. When we just mention AOP, we remember peroxide, ozone, because they are the most studied things. But it's not just enough. There are more AOPs like photocatalysis, peroxidase, catalysis, and even electrochemistry is included in AOPs. So the major role of AOP is to generate hydroxyl radical. And hydroxyl radical, you all are definitely aware, it's very powerful oxidizing agent, and it will oxidize everything what comes in its way. So it's a non-selective oxidant, very strong, and it needs some moisture to be very effective. So other than oxidation, disinfection and deactivation of pathogenic microorganism is the other role. So, but here in discussion, we'll mention mainly peroxide and UV in the slides hereafter, but definitely for industrial application, there will be more AOPs which need to be implemented for very effective results. So let us start our journey to AOP. Let us take it further. We can, in a broader way, we can divide all AOPs in two ways, two segments. One is ozone based, and another is non-ozone AOPs. So non-ozone AOPs are also, there's a wide list. Peroxide with UV, peroxide with that spentones and electron beam emission, electrohydraulic temperature, ultrasonics, non-thermal plasmas, pulse coronary staging, photocatalysis. One second, I'll just try to. So let us go through this AOPs in a. So what all cannot be normally oxidized with normal oxygen and chlorine can definitely be oxidized with AOP. So hydroxyl, as we all know, is the key to AOP, and it's very non-selective, very powerful, very fast-acting, instantly acting rather, and even it is very difficult to measure the intermediates or understand the intermediates which are generated during the hydroxyl reaction. It is a serial chain reaction. It's a chain reaction, and it cannot be stopped until the hydroxyl are available. So it is bit different from other chemical reactions wherein we change the structure of the product, or we change the constituents of the product, or we convert one product from one form to the other form, or we precipitate the product. So it's different. We are just degenerating it completely, and there are no residues. That is the goodness of the AOP reactions. So one by one, we go through UV. UV, you all know it's 100 nanometer to 400 nanometers, and it's very well known, very old technology. It's a very powerful antimicrobial property. It can penetrate through the cell wall of bacteria. Even it can destruct the protein structure of the virus. So it's very powerful, and hardly few things can resist UV for a very long time. So UV is very powerful, and UV is the core component of AOP. The other core component is peroxide. Every day in and out, you come across peroxide. So I need not explain more about peroxide, but peroxide is an integral part of AOPs. So this is the web. Peroxide can be generated by UV photolysis. And again, peroxide can be degraded by UV photolysis. So both the reactions are true, and even ozone photolysis can generate hydroxyl radicals, or photolysis of even normal ambient air also can generate hydroxyl radicals. So hydroxyl radicals can be generated in a multiple way, and even peroxide can be generated through ozone and water. So that is all. So there are lot many aspects which controls the AOP reactions. But it is very important to understand that two or three components when come together, two or three components when come together, that is very, very effective, very, very. Of this machine. You all know this reaction. So there are four ways to either you remove an hydrogen, or you add a hydroxyl radical, or you combine two components, and or you just transfer one electron from the one place to the other place. But these are all four types of oxidation reactions, which works with refractory organic compounds when AOPs are applied. So it can be either of the reaction, or it can be a group of reactions, or it can be multiple reactions in a series, one by one. So all things are possible with AOP. So AOP is in fact a chain of reaction which leads to mineralization. Mineralization means the end product is uh, water, carbon dioxide, and some salts. That is mineralization. So the series of reaction leads to mineralization. Let us go to practical applications of AOP in food and beverage industries, where I am limiting my subjects. But if you can go through my website for AOLUS, you can find 90 plus applications, various fields and various applications of AOP. And not just disinfection, but even color removal, product generation, product development, and even modification of the products, or storage of the product, or enhancing the shelf life of the product. Lot many aspects you can take up with AOPs. So step by step, we'll go with some of the applications with AOP. So first, being in Surat, people are very well aware of aquaculture, and lot many people maybe participating in this session today will also be well acquainted with aquaculture. So if at all you all are aware, in recent times, in aquaculture, people made huge losses, huge losses. These huge losses are mainly because of the poor water quality management. And most of the consultants working in with aquaculture will suggest one or other antibacterial product, and that is how they some vaccines or some antibiotics, and that is how they are working. What ozone or AOP offers to aquaculture is just crystal clear, pristine water. Sunlight will penetrate through the water body, and it can penetrate up to the bottom. So it will definitely play a vital role in disinfection. UV can be placed in recirculation, and ozone can be dosed in recirculation. Ozone can be very well monitored to be at optimum level at all times, so that there is no excessive ozone also in the tank or the pond. So with AOPs, you can reduce the use of antibiotics or any chemical treatments. Most of the chemical treatments can be eliminated. That is the and beauty of the product is that without adding any chemicals, or even leaving behind any chemical residues, you can treat the product with for all the toxins which are either generated by the animals or generated as a side reactions, including gases like ammonia or hydrogen sulfide or nitrites. And it can also reduce the natural toxicity available in the raw water, or it will definitely create a conducive environment for all the inhabitants. So that is how it turns around the entire practices in uh, aquaculture. So it also penetrates through the biofilms or the algal blooms, and that is a major problem which comes across in this aquaculture business. And it's a super duper thing, and it can save a lot of funds for the farmers. And yes, definitely it will leave the consultants jobless. That's a threat. So fish and seafood processing, that's also a very promising industry in South Gujarat mainly. And even the Gujarat is in 1600 kilometer plus coastal belt. So fishery and seafood processing is a huge business in Gujarat. So I'm focusing also on that in this slide. But the good thing of AOP, mainly ozone in this business, is that it will remove the scummy layer on the fish, and thereby it will make it an odorless and non-sticky, and thereby it can be stored for a very long time. And even when there is no foul smell associated with the seafood, then it is a very pleasant experience for a consumer, whoever consumes it. But this can change the entire practice of storing the food, storing the seafoods. And there are no all these terms will be closed frequently. There are no chemical residues, and it's very eco-friendly solution, and it's a very powerful microbial solution. So it works with almost all types of fishes, even silky strings. And here we have given a small things, very small concentration of ozone can in few minutes can convert this to a good product. And shrimps will need some more concentration of ozone, more over time. But root fish and caviar will need very small quantum of ozone because they are very tender fishes and very small exposure time. So this is the goodness of ozone in processing and storing of fish and seafood. Let us be vegetarian now. So it's not just seafoods and fishes, but also fruits and vegetables. And if you know, not many pesticides, even hormonal products are dosed on the fruits and vegetables for a healthy growth or a brighter look or a beautiful color. So all these are harmful for human health. And unfortunately, we buy the fruits and vegetables based on their look and not on their actual nutrition value. So, not many pesticides which are responsible for so much of cancer spreading across the society. And these pesticides are known for that. Unfortunately, we are using more and more pesticides, more and more fertilizers, and we are moving towards a society which has no value for the food or the quality of, no concern for the quality of product. So these are the major groups of pesticides which are widely used in fruits and vegetables, and that can be completely eliminated within few minutes and at a very low concentration of ozone. So if at all you are cleaning your daily vegetables with ozone at your home, you are definitely protecting yourself from the harmful effects of these pesticides. Not just pesticides, but also some of the microbes, including all sorts of bacteria, molds, and even yeast. So, if you recall, during the Corona period, we were very conscious about the quality of vegetables and very conscious about washing it with several domestic remedies. And even some people used chlorine to wash their vegetables. And now, after Corona, we have been a recalcitrant human being. So we are no more concerned about anything what has been sprayed on our vegetables. Even in a food storage or a post-production storage, whether it is food grains or fruits or vegetables, whatever, we need to be very conscious, because whenever the food is spoiled after harvesting and during the storage, then it is a serious crime, because somebody has burnt their midnight oil for producing that, bringing it to the market. Somebody has earned out of it, and finally, that everything is lost. Everything is lost, and that is a core. So that is ozone is very powerful, and specifically the American and German companies which supply uh, cold storages in India. They have a hidden arrangement for dosing ozone into their products, and thereby they are offering a huge, large, extended shelf life of the product, and that makes it very widely acceptable cooling systems for cold storages. And even Indian Army, let me tell you, any food product, whether it is grain or vegetable, entering into uh, a Indian Army cantonment has to be ozonized. The food grain storage is continuously ozonized. Without ozonation, they will not store their food, because Indian Army uses the food only after 1 year of its harvesting. That is the rule. So within 1 year, they will not consume any of the food. And even the daily vegetables, what they bring in, that is also completely ozonized, because army should not be attacked in any way, whether through weapons or through a biological. So Indian army has been using ozonation since very long time. If somebody is associated with food and grain and oilseed exports, he definitely, or you or she must definitely be aware of aflatoxin. Aflatoxin is a known carcinogen. On a cigarette pack, it is mentioned that it may cause cancer, but aflatoxin will and definitely will cause cancer. So aflatoxin is that powerful carcinogen, and that is available in almost all food grains and even all oilseeds, including sesame and peanuts. Gujarat is exporting peanuts on a large scale across the world, and the cost of peanut reaching with aflatoxin beyond the recommended level, it's a total loss of the payments, total loss of the shipping cost, as well as they will charge a incineration cost, which is so heavy that company may wind up with just 2 or 3 containers being rejected in USA or in Europe. So that is the cost of aflatoxin in a food grain or in an oil seed. So we are really not very conscious about aflatoxins. And let me tell you how aflatoxin enters into our food chain. Probably all the milk which is available in our local market will definitely contain some quantum of aflatoxin, and that aflatoxin has entered into through animal feed. Because for animal feed we use worst quality of food grains. So that is the feedstock. And that is how aflatoxin enters into human food chain. And aflatoxin does not degrade either in animal body or even in human body. So it is not degrading anywhere. And aflatoxin, as I mentioned, whoever is into exports, they definitely be aware how big problem it is and how it can lead to a detrimental end of the company who is exporting. So ozone alone can reduce 95% of aflatoxin on the surface. That's the beauty. Without changing any structure, color, taste, or even any content in the food or food product. And we have supplied lot many such systems for aflatoxin removal in India. So main topic CIP. Whenever we consider CIP, we will definitely be concerned about the biofilms, and biofilms can be broken, completely eliminated using ozone or peroxide and ozone and UV together. So this is how uh, it offers a complete and thorough professional cleaning in process or cleaning in place. And it's very powerful, very fast acting, and leaves behind no residues. That's the beauty at all times. And even it is replacing the CIP process even in dairy. Dairies internationally are now using ozone as a primary treatment for in the CIP. So CIP with ozone, or ozone in combination of peroxide, or ozone in combination of UV in recirculation will lead to a very powerful and very effective disinfection, and it will take care of almost all sorts of microorganisms, including the viruses. One beautiful thing about AOP and microorganism is that none of the microorganisms can be AOP resistant. That's the fact. AOP, either even a single ozone or even UV, or a combination of all three or all any of the two, that definitely is very effective on any microorganism because it will directly impact on the cell wall structure. And if at all it is a virus, it will definitely disintegrate the protein that is forming the viral body. So none of the microorganisms can ever be resistant to ozone. That is the fact. So ozone is that is the reason why ozone is so powerful, and almost 3,500 times more powerful than chlorine. And the other beauty of our government is that government has restricted the use of chlorine in swimming pools. Government has restricted the use of chlorine in sewage treatment plants, and they have designed and defined the norms of available chlorine percentages in sewage treatment plant as well as swimming pool. But same government is using chlorine for disinfection of water. They didn't find any other solution till date. Ozone was first used in 1906 in Nice City in France, and for disinfection of water. And till today, Nice City and most of the European countries are using ozone only for disinfection of the drinking water. All the Olympic swimming pools, they are 100% disinfected only using ozone and AOPs. Chlorines are 100% prohibited to be used in Olympic swimming pools. So ozone is not a new thing, or AOP is not a new thing for water treatments or water disinfection. But our government is yet to wake up and take decisive stand against chlorine, because chlorine is not just a greenhouse gas but also a known carcinogen. And chlorine entering into our body through drinking water, it's a direct entry of carcinogens into our body. Ozone is more economic as compared to chlorine. I can tell you that, and it is leaving behind no harmful products. That's the beauty of the treatment. And it can be ozone can be applied for air treatment, for water treatment, any liquid treatment without disintegrating the structure, taste, or color of that. Also, ozone can be implemented. Ozone in combination with the UV is a very powerful disinfectant in a combination for drinking water. And most of the liquids can definitely be disinfected and treated for residual toxics using AOP. We can generate products using AOP. We can generate new compounds. We can increase the concentration of compounds, or we can find out greener ways to produce a compound using AOPs, advanced oxidation processes. And this has been implemented in several industries by now, but definitely it is still to be explored. These are the set of electrodes which leads to electrooxidation. Electrooxidation is a combination of a lot many AOPs, but only 5% of the reactions are known. 95% of reactions happening in an electrooxidation processes are still unknown. I've cited some examples. Say ibuprofen can be synthesized using ozone. Ibuprofen, Brufen, that's the very popular name. Then again, even in our textile industry or nylon, the adipic acid is produced using ozone. So it has an application there also. We have been using ozone to decolorize or give different shades to denim if you are wearing a green denim. And all the brands of Levi's, Lomond, and all such international brands are probably disinfected using ozone. And some of the ozone machines are supplied by us. Even in petrochemical industry, we can reduce the sulfur content of the fuel using ozone. And let me tell you that we have done some very critical applications for ozone in emission industries, pollution emission. There was a plant here in Surat itself, which was an incineration site, and it was emitting 40,000 CFM of smoke every minute. And it was also emitting just 1% of mercaptan. And that mercaptan, during precipitation around 3 kilometers away from the site, was creating health issues to the residents there. So these hazardous product incineration site, the stack emission was around 250 to 140 degrees centigrades. Ozone disintegrates itself at 42 degree to 45 degree temperature. But we designed a system for them wherein we could offer them a solution for this 1% mercaptan in their huge emission. And that 1% mercaptan was completely eliminated within 20 meters of the stack span. So that level of applications we have developed with ozone. And ozone can also, potassium permanganate, non-disinfectant, is manufactured using ozone. Some of the classical applications of AOP is onion storage and impulse processing. Say onion will disintegrate on its own because of the H2S or SOx gases which are emitted during the storage of onion. Onion is the kasturi of common man. So that has to be stored for almost around a year. And when not stored effectively, it will disintegrate on its own, because either of the fungal and mold diseases which spreads something like corona within the storehouse of an onion. And even if at all it is not fungus, molds, or bacteria, then definitely it is going to be the noxious gases which are because of high sulfur content in onion. So whether whatever be the genesis of a disease in onion storage, whether it is biological, biochemical, or even autodegenerative, it can definitely be controlled using ozones. Very small dosing of ozone is required in the entire storages. And now in Nasik and in periphery, which is largest producer of ozone, they have designed a completely environment or climate control onion storages, which is dosing small quantum of ozone continuously, so that onion can be stored for a very long time without black rots or blue rots, which are fungal diseases very prominent in onions. And apple. Let me tell you, not just this apple, but even the Apple phone, what you are using, that also is manufactured in a ozonized environment. It needs a very specific climatic condition, and that climatic condition or zero infection rooms are designed including ozone. So without ozone, that is not 100% possible. But let us talk only on our food apple. So at various stages of apple processing, ozonated water and direct application of ozone is also done. But let me tell you, whatever apple you are seeing in market today, it is coated by wax, and that wax is again a carcinogen. So, whenever you buy an apple, always subject it to ozonation at home for 15 to 20 minutes, and then you will see that the real luster of apple screen will come out without wax. So, that is the way to consume apple at home. So, but in the processing factories, it is ozone is used at almost all stages, and it is conserving water, and it is conserving the quality of water, and it is controlling the ripening of apple, which is a very crucial component of apple going into the market and staying in the market all around the year. So even in the cold storages, when apple is stored, it is those with mild ozone content, so that molds do not take over the quality of apples. Apple is just an example, but all fruits can definitely be treated with ozone. If you have ever tasted grape treated with ozone, I can bet you can never eat a raw grape without ozone treatment. That makes the same grape which you buy today in the market, it makes the same grape so delicious, so tasty, so sweet, and the skin becomes very thin and chewable. Otherwise, it's very strong and it gives a tingling effect on the tongue. Any food industry will definitely have a cooling tower, and the health of cooling tower is crucial to the health of the industry, whether it is food industry or any other industry. Cooling tower is something like a kidney for a industry, if at all we consider boiler as the heart of the industry. So there are multiple problems associated with cooling towers, and mainly scale and corrosion and biofouling and algae biofilms. Ozone in combination with other AOPs or individually also will take care of these problems. It will stop producing scale and corrosion, and it will conserve the water. It will reduce the frequency of blowdown, and it will definitely reduce the total suspended solids. It will make the water crystal clear, and it conserve the water by reducing the blowdowns almost by 60 to 70%. So that much of low down water can be definitely conserved. Poultry, it's again a very classic example of disinfection of entire poultry and hatchery environment using ozone, whether it is removing aflatoxin from the feeds to the poultry, or drinking water disinfection, or the environmental disinfection within the poultry environment, or the size, color, and the strength of the eggshell. Everything ozone has an impact. The health of the bird has an impact with ozone, and it's not just bird hatchery, even fish hatchery can have a very positive impact with ozone. And ozone can definitely stop pandemics, pandemic outbreak like H1N1, SARS, and what we even H1N1 we call it bird flu. So that is the power of ozone. But unfortunately, we still depend on chlorine and chlorine compounds in the hatcheries. And again, the consultants associated with poultries and hatcheries will definitely try to sell more antibiotics, more vaccines, more drugs, and that is how they earn. But ozone, alone ozone, will definitely eliminate these role of consultants, and it will give a healthy the birds can consume more food, thereby they are more healthy, they are stress free, and they put on little weight also. So that is how they give good value to the farmers. So, uh, before we move forward to the conclusion, we'll just recall lot many oxidation applications, whether it is groundwater remediation also. An aquifer below the ground can definitely be treated with ozone. That's the beauty of ozone. And we have done such projects for some of the companies who were caught polluting the groundwater, and they were punished by the NGT to remediate or pay the compensation for the pollution. And we have offered them a remedial solution for groundwater, and that entire aquifer below the ground was treated. So again, recalling aflatoxin, complex problems like aflatoxin removal or odor removal or food preservation or improving the shelf life of the food or CIP or whether it is pest control. Even ozone can definitely, ozonated water can be used as a pest control thing, as a pesticide in farm fields. So that will not just eliminate the microorganisms, but also macroorganisms. That's the beauty of ozonated water. And it can work on several types of microorganisms. So whether it is food storage or food grain and storage, or whether it is aquaculture or even in horticulture, there are applications of ozone, and tissue culture rooms that can be definitely disinfected with continuous ozonation there. Even laminar airflows are installed, but they are not so effective in tissue culture labs, but ozone is much more effective even as compared to laminar airflows. So whether it is animal husbandry, poultry, zoo, swimming pools, cold storages, HVAC, you will be surprised your central air conditioning system is contributing more to poor health rather than a good health, because it is full of fungal development. And if at all you ever happen to open up the duct, and if you can ever happen to see the amount of fungal spores in that duct, you will never sit in that HVAC room. So as I mentioned, H2S gas can be removed, and oxidation of ethylene in apple and fruit storages can lead to enhanced life and better value for the products. And biofouling controls and removal of toxins and pesticides residues, and CIPs, NOx, SOx, and toxic gases emissions can even in stack emission, as I mentioned. So, and definitely we should be concerned for water quality. So here I'm focusing on drinking water. We all know 70 to 75% of our body consists of water, and we are very much ignorant about the quality of water we drink. We pay 20 rupees for a bottle, but we don't understand what's the quality of water. We don't check, or we can't check the quality of water. So ozone alone, or even ozone in combination of ozone and UV, that is sufficient to offer a perfect quality drinking water. And let me tell you that it is mandatory for all ISO certification of any drinking water and bottling plant, or even any beverage plant. It's mandatory to have a complete disinfected water with minimum of TDS, because as in mentioned in the earlier slides, certain calcium carbonates and will definitely interfere into the ozone absorption or ozone reactivity. So it has to be at least TDS water, and that has to be subjected to AOP, and complete disinfection should be achieved before it is either bottled or used for manufacturing of any beverages. And see the wide list of contaminants which ozone acts upon: heavy metals, cyanides, pharmaceutical residues, antibiotic residues, pesticides, fertilizer residues, heavy metals, recalcitrant organic and inorganic compounds, both, not just organic compounds. Inorganic compounds also can be recalcitrant. Hormonal residues, microplastics, all these things. Till date, our drinking water standards mention pH, TDS, TSS contents, and that is how we identify our drinking water. We are still unaware of diclofenac in our water, or antibiotics in our water, or microplastics in our water, or hormonal products in our water. How come before 15 years, 20 years, a girl used to enter into her puberty at 12. Now she enters at 8. How come this? These all hormones have come from oxytocins, which are injected to milking animals, and through that milk, that oxytocin toxin come to our body, and that is changing the entire hormonal impact of our human body. And that is the reason of so many IVFs coming across every nook and corner now in the city. That is the impact of hormones which are entering into our food cycle, mainly through water and milk and all these consumable products. And that is how that they are impacting to our entire society and entire human life. We don't value our life, and these solutions are very simple, and we are not yet ready to scientifically adapt all that solutions. And we are still in the era of just measuring the pH and measuring the TDS of a drinking water. That is not sufficient. Say in a cattle and dairy farm, this is not directly related to ozone, but definitely the availability of ozone will improve the taste of water. So animal will consume more water, and thereby they will feel more oxidized water, means they will feel happy. They will reduce the quantum of methane which is emitted through that farts, and thereby they give a better environment for themselves. And they will also oxidize all the toxic gases which are generated from their discharges. So thereby they will reduce the stress, will give a good environment for the staff and the cattle, and it will give an improvement, a considerable improvement in the milk production. So indirectly, ozone is acting upon the quantum of milk production, but it can directly be linked. So even it can reduces equipment maintenance. You will ask, how come ozone has an impact on equipment maintenance? Just it's very simple. H2S availability in a animal farm will definitely impact the life of the equipments which are metal. So ozone will eliminate H2S, and ozone will produce a fine layer of oxidative material which will stop further oxidation of metals. That is how that is the principle what we are using even in cooling tower. Cooling tower structures do not rust further with ozone. If at all it's rusting in normal environment. And in agriculture, which is the genesis of food, We can eliminate the hard and lumpy soils. We can remove the salt deposition on the root or leaves or even on the soil surfaces. And some unknown genesis of tip burnings on the leaves or even the equipment maintenance we can reduce, because ozone can precipitate calcium and magnesium. Thereby, it will precipitate the scale forming components, and thereby it will give a better life to dripper and sprinklers. So even more oxygen penetrating the top surfaces of the soil will give a better environment for the root growth and better environment for the microbial flora growth, and thereby ozonated water can contribute a lot into agriculture, which is benefit of food industry and cattle and dairy farm also. And drinking water, it has to be disinfected using only AOPs. Last few slides with my electrochemistry, which I consider as AOP. And it's a green way to treat complex and most hazardous effluent. And I will cite just one example of one of the most hazardous effluent which is generated by food industry. It's molasses distillery spent wash, a effluent which is generated after fermentation of ethanol. The residue is called molasses distillery spent wash. See the COD values, see the BOD values, see the TSS content, see the volatile solids, and conductivity is not measurable. So much of conductivity. And see the outcome. And that is just in a two-stage continuous process. This level of this complex effluents we have been treating using electrochemistry in combination of ozone and other products, and these are the wonders. And if you tell you go through Google and you either search for Zero Drop, which is our brand name, or if you go search for a comprehensive treatment of molasses distillery spent wash, since 2012, we are the only one on this planet who can offer a comprehensive treatment, complete treatment for molasses distillery spent wash. This is the structure of our layout of our product. This is electrocoagulation, zero drop electrocoagulation, and this is zero drop electrooxidation. Ozone can be optional at the primary stage or at the terminal stage, but even UV can be at the terminal stage to eliminate more excessive ozone leakage through water or even excessive oxidative radicals leaking through treated water. So UV we mainly place at the end of the treatment, not just for disinfection, but for reducing the oxidative radicals coming out of the treated water. So this is a no bacteria, no chemical process which requires only electricity as a consumable, no heat, no smoke, no incineration, and it's a plug-and-play treatment, and instantly there is no pre-preparation for the effluent. This is our electrochlorinator. It is now means Jal Jeevan Mission, and India has procured thousands and thousands of electrochlorinators for their drinking water disinfection systems in rural environment, mainly into the northern India. And this is our one of the prototype for our ozone generator. It's a very simple configuration we are working with, but these are all 100% made in India. All our components are predominantly 100% made in India, and we ensure that we do not use Chinese components as far as possible. That is our objective, promoting the Indian goods in the Indian climate, in the Indian weather condition, and our ozone systems are designed for Indian weather condition. So unlike Chinese or European electrodes, our electrodes keep on performing even at 45-degree ambient temperature in the environment. Again, we can synthesize lot many chemicals and intermediates in our industries using electrochemistry and advanced oxidation processes. and it will definitely open new avenues for green products in the market and for the betterment of the environment. So thank you. If you have any questions, I'm open to that.
मुझे पता नहीं सेशन में कैसे बात करें कहाँ से चलूंगा हेलो फोटो के लिए बोल दो
क्वेश्चंस है क्वेश्चंस पूछ लेते हैं हाँ वन क्वेश्चंस काफी है
questions asked. So, dear participant, please ask your questions or write down your questions on chat box. So, one question is there. Any ozone productions machine is commercialized for the public use to treat baggage? Sir,
Pardon, please come in. What's the question?
question is any ozone production machine is commercialized for the public use to treat baggage? Sir, question is in chat box, sir. If not visible.
Commercial for public use, which is yes, there are commercial systems available in the market. There are certain systems established. Definitely, they are still working and working very well. They are available, and even the real Reliance, some of the Reliance outlets have ozonation system installed in their facilities.
Any more questions, participant? Please drop out into chat box.
dear participants, please turn on camera for a one group photograph. It is better. Hmm? Thank you very much, Niraj sir. Thank you for given informative, knowledgeable session to our participants. I hope all the participants will be explore knowledge in their research works as well as in future one. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.